Hey there, this is Katherine, and I am sharing a video of some things I purchased at my local Michael's from the Recollection brand. I stopped in the other day and they had some new stuff, including this set of 3 stencils. One has a cloud, one is grass. One has some grass, but also kind of a mountain look to it with some snow caps. And then I also purchased this hot air balloon set. I love hot air balloons, but it's a slider set as well. And so it comes with these little clear discs that you can use to adhere your slider. And then I also purchased this frame, this kind of thank you frame that has a die that lets you cut out the center. That grabbed my attention. I love the angles of it and the beautiful flowers. I'm going to have a separate video for this stamp set, but I did want to share it because I purchased these all at one time. And then there's thanks in that one. So another beautiful stamp. I was super excited to see some new items in my store. So I'm going to make a card today. I'm going to use that hot air balloon. It's going to be a slider, and I'm using this stencil. There's some things that are going to go awry in this card. I probably should have stamped. I should have adhered my stencil down, taped it down, and I didn't. And it worked well in the beginning, and then it started slipping toward the end of it. But what I'm doing here is I'm using this Hero Arts Reactive ink pad that I got in a card kit a while back, and it's a lot of fun to play with. I'm using Bristol cardstock, and I'm just going to keep turning my stencil and work on creating those clouds. The 3 colors, I'm kind of using sort of one color at a time. And they blend together a little bit, but it gives a little bit of interest and some depth to it, which is fun. So I'm just going to keep turning this and work my way down. I love this bright, bright blue. It's so beautiful. And then there's the purple in there. I use this on some winter cards too. I don't know if this is for sale separately. I know the colors are probably available. I'd have to look it up and see what the colors are and list them for you, and I'm happy to do that. So I need to make a note to remember to list the colors that are in this pad so you can purchase them separately. But I've enjoyed this Reactive ink. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but I've done a couple of cards with them and this Hero Arts. So they're really fun. But I suggest the Bristol cardstock because it blends very, very well. I'm going to move on to the grass, and this is where things really kind of go off in the ditch a little bit. And I really should have taped it down at this point because I'm at the very bottom and it's starting to slip a little bit. So right there is where I'm totally off the rails and I can't seem to get it back together. So I just start blending a little bit of the color together. You can still see a little bit of the grass. So there's a little bit of interest there. And then I'm going to come back with a darker green, trying to add just a little bit more shading. I'm going to add a little more tape on there this time. I'm finally adding some adhesive to hold it in, and I'm going to come back and add just a little bit more shading on there. And again, I just wanted to leave that in there because I believe, and if it looks pretty good, use it. Those clouds turned out really well, so you can always kind of fix things. And it's homemade too. So I'm a big fan of if it's not broken, it doesn't really need to be fixed. So we're just going to go with this. And I'm going to come back with that lightest color and I'm going to blend just a tiny bit to take off that harsh white between the grass and my clouds. So now we're going to move on to the stamping part. I'm going to use Gina K Amalgam Obsidian ink, which is my favorite black ink because you can watercolor with it. You can alcohol marker color with it. It's just a great ink, and it's really, really black, which I like a lot. So it's my favorite black ink that I use all the time. I've stamped those first ones in the black, and then I'm going to come back and stamp one more balloon in the black. I like to, when I'm stamping, I'll fill a sheet with images. That way, when I'm interested in coloring, if I'm watching TV, things like that, waiting on kids, I can have a few things handy to color. I'm going to pull out my Memento inks, my little dewdrops, and I was going to stamp my clouds in a blue that's similar to those cloud colors, and then I'm going to do my sun in yellow. I'm going to color that as well. So I've got some things ready to color off camera. And then I also decided to stamp some in the skeleton leaves from Gina K. This is for no line coloring. So when you color it, you won't have any lines. I've been trying to add that technique into my coloring process, and I don't do it very often, but I've wanted to do more of it. And so this summer when I have more free time, I'd love to have some more items like this to color. So I've got the everything cut and colored. You're going to need an additional piece of cardstock behind because you're going to cut out your slider piece. So I'm going to run that through my machine, the little slot for the balloon to go up and down and spin. And so I've got that cut out. And then you'll see there's also a circle die that comes with it that you'll need to cut. I cut one, but I really needed two, it turns out. Because I'm going to put one on the bottom, and I'm going to add foam first. I was kind of rooting around looking for some foam. You want to make sure you don't block the slider. And so I'm just laying out that circle so I'll know where not to put adhesive. So I've got these little clear discs. It says to add it with a glue dot. So I'm pulling out a glue dot to stick on there, and I'm going to stick this little disc on there and get it where I want it to be. I'm going to lay that in there. And then I did directly, I haven't done a slider in a while, so I forgot that I probably needed to put something else on top. So initially I just stuck it right on there, and then I decided no, it needed to have another of those circles. So I decided to add that, and then I'm just going to glue that part on. And you'll see that it slides great. And it spins too because it's a circle. So I'm going to add this to my card base. And then we will add it to I'm going to add a little bit more foam on that one side, get it just a little bit tighter. And then I love the 6x6 foam sheets that you've seen me use before that I purchased from Stamps of Life. They're great. And then I've got some sliding going on. So very cute, and I'm in love with these balloons. You could use these balloons without the sliders. They would make some gorgeous cards if you were not interested in that, but it does add a fun little element to your card. So I'm going to glue down my hot air balloon. I'm going to place that sun. I want it to be when the balloon is up at the top. The sun is peeking out behind, and then this is where I got off track again. The hello I stamped easily. I should have done this before. And then the sky's the limit. I messed that up stamping. I only stamped half of it. So I just stamped it again with a piece of paper, and that was in a similar tone to that pink marker that I used. I used my Copics on this one. And then that's it. So it turned out so cute. I love these hot air balloons. They're super, super cute. So if you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and like and share. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great day.